Huge news in the crypto space, probably the biggest in at least 4 years. XRP fam, put them up. We're going to tell you all about it and what it means for you. Question everything, trust nothing. Welcome to Debate Crypto. We started off with XRP. Obviously, that's the news of the day. Declared not a security. So Frankie Candles, show me the chart, bro. Like, obviously, we know huge pump, right? But what do you see technically come down the pipe from XRP? But also, obviously, we know some fundamentals played a huge part in this. Where do you see this headed? What's the chart looking like right now?
Yeah, so let's make sure I'm unmuted here.
Yep, you're good.
Yeah, so for sure. I want to bring up the chart. There are some targets that I'm looking at, but obviously, yeah, this was based a lot on news. I know XRP got relisted on, I think it's called BitBuy, which is a Canadian exchange, which obviously, I was just saying on my live stream earlier today, not only did that create buy pressure because people are like, oh, now cool. Like people who use that exchange, like now I could buy XRP again. That's great. Like I'm looking to accumulate for the next bull run. But not only that, you then start to get people starting to, hypothesize like, well, hey, they're starting to relist it and there's some other news going around. And you could just feel everybody kind of just getting super excited. So it kind of starts it kind of starts that FOMO buying as well. But pulling up a chart here, hopefully you guys can see this.
Yes, sir.
So basically what I'm looking at, I'm actually going to get rid of some of these levels really quickly.
Yeah, that's a beautiful chart. Look at that. Just freaking tearing up.
Oh yeah, on my live stream. I was just like, let's just sit back and just turn off the TA and just appreciate, these God candles, just straight Lambo candles. But this is actually something that I've been looking. I'll talk to you guys about a little bit what I've been looking at on my channel for quite some time. And like you said, like there wasn't a whole lot saying like last night, like oh hey, get into a trade here. Other than we were in a little bit of a wedge here, so that was expected to break out in one direction or the other. But really, what I'm looking at here, Keeper, is if you zoom out a bit, right? And I do use the volume profiles very, very often, as well as Market Cipher is another indicator that I like to use. And there's on Market Cipher, one big thing we were looking at was on the weekly time frame. Now, this is on a lot of other stuff as well, such as Bitcoin. We actually had something very, very big happen back here in June, and that was the weekly money flow crossover on Market Cipher B. And historically, when these happen, you can just see if I just go ahead and turn the TA off. To clean up the chart here a bit, you can see every time you get these money flow crossovers, it is typically a very, very big move to the upside. Yeah, and they don't happen very often, right? Like this is the last money flow crossover we got into the green was in 2020, right? So it's usually a sign that the bottom is in and the bull market is not gonna moon right up to all-time highs immediately, but it does oftentimes mean that the bottom is in and it is time to either continue to consolidate before the halving on Bitcoin and then the next parabolic bull run. Obviously, this was suppressed last cycle because of the lawsuit, but this was like one of the big things that not only on XRP, but on a lot of the other altcoins and on Bitcoin mainly that I'm looking at, which is making me super, super bullish on crypto, going into the end of the year. I don't think it's impossible to get corrections back to the downside, but just in the long term, this is a very, very macro bullish sign for Bitcoin. And then as far as targets, there is some very specific targets we've been looking at, which is going to start with the volume profiles, right? We were looking at a break of this level here at about 50 cents to potentially start a move through this big volume gap that we have between these two levels, looking for a quick move up to test the previous value area low from up here in 2022. And we actually did on lower time frames. I won't spend the time to go down there and look at it, but on the lower time frames, we did kind of consolidate here for just a little bit before absolutely mooning to our next target, which was the point of control of that range. Shout out to the volume profiles. Once you break that value area low, you are expecting to eventually go for that POC, which actually wound up happening. It doesn't always happen this quick, but it did wind up happening very, very quickly today, obviously because of the bullish action. But you could just see how these levels get get respected, right? You come up, consolidate, rip right up to that next target, and now we're consolidating again. Next target for me, next big target would be up here at about $1.28, which is the value area high of the range.